Hi, I'm Bob Friedrich, your host for the Co-op and Condo Brief. I'm president of Glen Oaks Village, the largest garden apartment co-op in New York, and also founder and co-president of the President's Co-op and Condo Council, a leading voice for co-ops and condo owners with more than 100 board presidents throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. The Co-op and Condo Brief is your inside track on today's issue, which is the J51 Tax Exemption Program. When people, including legislators, hear the words J51, their eyes often glaze over. But if you live in or manage a co-op or condo, this is a program you should absolutely understand because it can mean real money when your building needs real repairs. New York buildings have a character, and that's often a polite way of saying old. Roofs leak, boilers fail, and fixing those problems are expensive. Decades ago, lawmakers recognized that well-maintained housing benefits tenants, owners, and the city itself. That's how J51 was born, a partnership between government and building owners designed to help maintain and modernize aging residential buildings through property tax relief. The original J51 worked in 2 main ways. First, it could provide a tax exemption, freezing a building's assessed value even after improvements increased its worth. But more commonly, it offers a tax abatement. Instead of reducing assessed value, the city reduced the actual tax bill by the adjusted cost of the renovation. That made large capital projects more affordable. But critics argued the city was giving away too much revenue to buildings that didn't need public help. As a result, the original J51 expired in June of 2022. But the problem of older buildings needing critical repairs didn't go away. Older, affordable buildings, especially co-ops and condos, were still facing enormous repair costs, now made worse by a growing list of unfunded state and city mandates. While few focused on this low-visibility issue, I advocated for its renewal with my assembly member, Ed Braunstein, who led the charge to enact a replacement program to pick up where J51 left off. And so J51R was born, with the R standing for Reform or Revival. And the new program cuts out luxury developments, limiting eligibility to affordable buildings only. So who qualifies? Well, first, government-assisted housing, such as Mitchell-Lama developments, automatically qualify. But secondly, affordable co-ops and condos, if their assessed valuation is under $45,000 per unit. In the confusing world of New York City mind-numbing tax math, an assessed value of $45,000 usually means the co-op is worth well under $500,000. Certainly not Billionaire's Row. And there's an active effort in Albany right now to raise that cap from $45,000 to $70,000 or more, which would allow many additional affordable co-ops to qualify. Co-op advocacy groups such as the PCCC and Co-ops and Condos United of New York are urging the governor and state legislature to do this now. So let's talk about the application process, because this is where boards need to be careful. The cost to simply apply for an abatement is enmeshed in red tape and fees. Let's say you are ready to replace that old roof on one of your co-op buildings at a cost of $120,000. Do not do any work before submitting your application. And applying isn't cheap. There's a non-refundable filing fee of $1,000 plus $75 for every apartment in the building over 6. For example, a 76-unit garden apartment co-op building would pay $6,250 just to apply, and that money is non-refundable even if the city denies your application. And here's the kicker. If your application is rejected for an incomplete submission or a technical issue, you get a short window period of time to refile, but you must pay the full fee again. This double dipping by the city is punitive, and it's shameless way for the city to treat its taxpayers, and boards need to be prepared. But once your application is approved, you must file a notice of intent with residents and the city's housing department before construction begins. No advance notice, no abatement. And once construction is completed, you have 4 months to submit final paperwork and receipts so the city can determine the project cost that will be rebated. So what is the tax benefit? Under J51R, the city can abate up to 70% of a renovation's cost, which is referred to as the certified reasonable cost. There's also a push in the state legislature right now to increase that to 100%. But for now, our $120,000 roof replacement renovation would net a tax abatement of $84,000. That's $120,000 times 70%. But that $84,000 abatement on our taxes does not come to us in a single year. The program caps the annual tax reduction at 8.3%, or $6,972 per year. It will take us 12 years to be fully rebated. Listen, it's a good program, but the co-op must still lay out the $120,000 cost up front and then receive the abatements in increments of $6,900 per year. The cash flow issue still remains a problem for many buildings that simply don't have the monetary resources to lay out all that money up front. And what happens after the abatement is fully used up? Hold on to your wallets. Here's where the hangover kicks in. Once the abatement is fully exhausted, the building returns to paying its full, unabated property tax bill. And since the building has been improved by the new roof or whatever renovation you did, its assessed value will increase, and so will its property taxes. So owners need to be prepared for sticker shock with maintenance increases to cover the newly increased property tax bill. So there you have it, the inside track on J51R, the Affordable Housing Rehabilitation Program. We hope you enjoyed our episode and look forward to seeing you next time to get the inside track on today's co-op and condo issues. See you soon.